Okay. Welcome to another session of Viva Magazine live podcast. Today, I want to welcome a very talented and creative guest. He is a writer, he's a poet, and he is also a playwright. Let's welcome Manuel Nava Leon. How you doing, Manuel?
I'm wonderful. Thank you, Blanca. I appreciate
Great.
this interview.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you could come on the podcast today. We're going to talk about, as you can see on the background, we're going to talk about Manuel's book that was published by Balamku, am I pronouncing it?
Balamku Press, yes.
Balamku Press. It's called, the book is published and it's called Beautiful Heart. It's a collection of romantic poetry. And I really wanted to get Manuel on the interview today because what I really want to know, and I know many other people want to know, Manuel, is how how does how does it what inspires you to write romantic poetry like this?
Well, I love women. Flat out truth. I love women. And I've had some wonderful relationships in my life. And not just personal with women, but the relationships with women in general, my mother, my grandmother, my aunt, all of these, my sister, these wonderful women who are very strong, very loving, caring. And that to me, that's the major inspiration.
That was the inspiration. Well,
Exactly.
I know that you have a lot of background in writing, and you have a portfolio of productions that you've produced several years ago. Can you tell us about a little bit about that and how you got all that started? I know you mentioned to me at one point that you started writing when you were at a very young age, right?
Actually, I had images of stories in my head before I knew how to write.
Really?
It's amazing. It's a gift I was born with.
Yeah.
And I couldn't wait to learn how to write. I tell people I was born with my fingers were pencils. I wanted to write everything I could.
Wow.
So yeah, the stories have always just come to me, right?
Yeah.
I thank God. I thank the universe. It's a gift, and I'm not going to question it any longer. I used to. I don't
Yes.
anymore.
Well, you mentioned in your book that about the author, which is yourself, that you have some theatrical productions already.
Yes, yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Certainly. I started in theater, oddly enough, in the army.
Really? In the
Yeah, I
army?
was stationed in
You
Germany.
always
I was
think of the
stationed in
army
Germany.
as men, working and doing things and not writing. Yeah.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. At the time I wasn't a playwright. I hadn't even considered doing a play. I started working as a volunteer at the music and theater department in our on our post
Hmm.
in Bamberg, Germany, and the director was a classically trained director from Boston University. And he was such a talented man. And he just convinced me to get on stage and act when I had never even considered doing that. As a child, you do
Yeah.
stage productions with school friends and all that.
Yeah.
But no, he encouraged me, and I did it. I had the help of a wonderful actress, and she helped me through the
What
process.
actress was that?
I'm sorry?
What
Oh, I
actress
don't
was
remember her last
that?
name, but her first name was Linda. It's been so many
But she
years.
was
Oh
an
my gosh.
actress.
Yeah, yeah. And she was in the community theater and
Yeah.
volunteers with the wife of a sergeant.
Uh-huh.
And the group, the entire theater was just volunteers, right? And I happened, my XO, my executive officer in my battalion, one day just out of the blue asked me if I wanted to go see a theatrical production his wife was in. And I said, sure. And I went and I loved it. I thought it was so great. And
Awesome.
then the next day he comes to me and he says, do you want to work there? And I said, what? Do you want to work? I said, when can I start? He said, tomorrow if you want. I said, I'm on it. I'm on.
So you went
And
at it. Well, that really served you well. You've done really great. I know that you've been involved in the theater for over 40 years.
yeah,
So
close to 50 now. Close
yeah,
to 50.
well, I mean, you don't look like you're even close to that at all.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
So I know that you've written and produced children's plays as well, and for the Boys and Girls Club of Spring Branch. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. I did that because I had won a grant through the Houston Arts Council. And one of the prerequisites was to go and do something for the community. And I had created a short story for my children for Christmas. And it stayed with me forever. The kids loved it. And I decided to write it as a story and then produced it as a children's play, as you say, in Spring Branch. It was wonderful. The
Oh,
experience
I
was
bet.
unbelievable.
I'm sorry I didn't get to see it. Maybe I will sometime in the
Oh,
future.
believe me, it was a mess. It was a mess. It was all children, no
Oh,
actors,
I
no
can
true
imagine.
actors, just volunteers.
Yeah,
And it was chaotic at the beginning, and I was frustrated. I was scared. I didn't know what the people would think. And then I looked out behind the curtain, and everyone's enjoying it. And I thought, hey, calm down, dude. Everybody's having a great time.
right.
So it was great.
Anything good that you do, there are some challenges along the way,
Oh, of
and that
course.
was it, wasn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But I loved it,
Well,
and it was great.
I bet. Well, let's get into your Beautiful Heart book. You
Certainly.
know, I read through it, and you've got some very powerful poems in there, and you have
Thank
a
you.
few in Spanish as
Yes,
well.
yes.
And I wanted to ask you, uh, I saw the one that you wrote in Spanish, La Tartamuda, and then El Rebozo. And El Rebozo reminded me of a marriage, stages of marriage along the way.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Curious. Yeah,
that's what when I read it, that,
certainly.
how life evolves in a marriage, and at the end, you give the black rebozo,
Yes.
or black,
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that was what inspired you to write that poem?
Oh my goodness. I was watching Lila Downs,
Uh-huh.
doing a performance, and she always wears these beautiful Mexican dresses, just outstanding designs, and she always has these beautiful rebozos.
Yes.
And just seeing her, the way she dances and sways them around, they look like flowers. It's beautiful, right? And that imagery alone just gave me the inspiration to write this.
Mm-hmm.
I started, as you say, start at the beginning and give the first rebozo as a gift, of kindness, and then love, and it changes in
Yes.
time to
Yes.
when you lose the person that you love, the woman that you love, the
Uh-huh.
last rebozo you present is the black one, and so yeah, it led to that. So thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, I really I really like the one about La Tartamuda, because you kind of shine a light on people that have a physical disability, and they're just people, and they want to be loved just like everybody. I mean, there's nothing different
Of
about
course,
them, and that
of
was
course.
really, really touching.
We're all
You know,
human, and we go through our experiences.
yes,
We're born with whatever, and we have to live our lives the best we can with
yes,
whatever to live, succeed,
yes.
do whatever your goal is, right?
It was a very
Follow your
touching
dreams.
poem, because it seems as though you in the poem you gave rise to love for that particular person. It
Yes,
was
thank
really,
you.
really
Yeah,
touching.
yeah. And then it was actually a young girl that I knew years and years and years ago.
So that was an experience that you had.
Exactly. That's autobiographical almost completely, right?
Yes,
Yeah, she was embarrassed. She stuttered, she
yes,
stuttered a lot, and she was embarrassed, and she would hide herself. She would cover her mouth,
yes,
physically, as though her mouth was defective.
uh-huh,
And I felt so much compassion for her.
yes,
I didn't feel pity,
no,
nothing at all like that. It was just compassion, seeing her struggle,
yeah,
and uh, and I would do my best to talk to her, to approach her, and she would reject me. She'd stay away from me, right?
yeah,
And then at one point she accepted me, and we were friends for a while. Then once she was taught how to control the stuttering,
yeah.
then obviously her whole friendship circle
The
changed,
whole world
and I was
changed.
pushed
Yeah.
out.
You made
Uh,
such a big difference for her, I'm sure. And that was what was going to be my next question, was the techniques that you use to evoke emotions and intimacy, right? You use that part of it, right? To evoke that, I don't know, like a butterfly comes to life, right? For that young lady.
Well, you know, words are so powerful. If you know the meanings of words and how they can convey different images to people,
Mm-hmm.
then you just play with them. And that's
Right.
all I'm doing, really. I say that words are my toys. You know,
Yeah.
I play with them and manufacture all kinds of imagery with it, and
Yeah.
it's always been a delight.
Yeah.
You know, and that's I'm always constantly learning new words and roots of the words and all so on, so I can use them properly,
Yes.
or at least engage with public that
Right.
something that they might see themselves.
So, how do you, getting more into the structure, how do you decide on the structure and the organizations of your poems within your collection? Because how many poems do you have in the book Beautiful Heart?
Oh my goodness.
You have, I know
I'll
you
have to
have
look
over
at the table of
100,
contents. I
seems
never
like.
counted them.
Yes.
um,
Uh,
over 80.
yeah, that's what
Over
I
80. And
figured.
it's a small book. It's a
Yeah,
small book. It's not,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Put it up on the screen and let people see it.
certainly,
Yeah, there it
certainly.
is. That is the book, if you can see
Yeah,
it.
I
Yeah.
see it backwards, I guess, but
Yeah, no, we can see it
yeah.
forward. Looks good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. No, well, it started out as the idea that we would start with the beginnings of love, the process and going through love, and then the ending of love,
Right.
um, or the culmination, I should say, of love.
Hmm.
And the more I thought of it, I said, no, it will bore people. I felt like it would bore people. So I decided alphabetically, just go alphabetically, and whoever decides to go through the mix and whatever they like, they like.
Right.
And my goal has always been, if I can have one person enjoy my work, if I can have one smile,
Hmm.
I've accomplished what I wanted to do.
Right. And I'm glad you said that, because I've got some poems here that I've uh, marked. There was one that I saw. Let me see. The name of it was. Let's see. Was it something tequila and mezcal?
Oh,
That was that to me when I read that tequila and mezcal,
mhm.
was that about, it seems as though what came out for me was domestic violence or something to that
Oh,
effect, or
no,
not?
no, 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 no,
No,
not at all. Not at all.
no.
No, it's just when I was a child, my dad hardly ever spoke with us.
I
He
see.
hardly ever spoke with the family. Like when he was out with his friends in the cantinas, he was alcoholic. Unfortunately, he came back from World War II, shell shock, and so he became alcoholic. That was his support.
Oh, I
And
see.
so I would follow him, and I would just sit at the bar, at the corner of the bar. The bartenders knew me. They would give me a bag of chips and a soda and say, "Hey, sit here, and we know why you're here, right? See
Right.
my dad." And it was observing men
Yeah,
become drunk,
I
come
see.
in after work exhausted,
Right.
and then just start drinking, and they don't stop until they're drunk, right?
Right. Hmm.
So tequila and mezcal was the idea of these men going in there and they see these bebidas, these drinks as their friends, right?
Yes.
So I wrote it in that sense that, hey, these are my friends. Estos son mis amigos,
Yes.
tequila y mezcal, mis copas de tequila y mezcal.
Right.
And I didn't see anything wrong with it as a child. I see the dangers of it, the
As
ugliness now as an adult. But at the time, it was the only way I could be close to my father and the people that he was always associated with.
right.
In the bars where he was always talking, and people loved him, respected him, and I wanted to be like him, but not the front part.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, that's where that came from.
Well, I
It's
got
nothing
that.
bad.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
that was really well written. I really like that.
Oh, thank you so much.
So the other thing I wanted to ask you, Manuel, is which of these poems, you say there's about 80 to 90 poems in your
80
book,
plus, right?
and 80 plus. Which is the most favorite that really, you know, makes a big difference for you?
Thank you for asking that question. It's woman. the poem Woman, and it's subtitled Adam Followed. And I know that I have read this poem to you in the past, and every time that I present that, and I love to read that one in my book readings and book signings, because it's an honor to write for women. You know, my ideas, my passions, my love and adoration of women. I grew up around strong women. You know, like I said, my dad was alcoholic. My uncles, they were all drunks as well, you know, and so I didn't have really good male models. I didn't know my grandfathers at all, just my grandmothers. And so growing up around women and seeing their strength, their courage, their everything that they did was for the family. You know, I hardly saw any selfishness in them. You know, there obviously we all have selfish moments, but women in general, I adore them. I love them because, you know, they're, to me, they're my heroes. They always have been my heroes.
They are. They're women. I say women can run the country.
I keep saying women will save our world.
That's right. You know? They will.
Our nation needs saving, and women will do so.
Yeah, I want to ask you, Manuel, if you could read a couple of stanzas of that particular poem.
Certainly, certainly.
I'd like for the audience to listen to a couple of stanzas of that. I think that they'd be honored to hear it, to listen to it.
Well, thank you. It's really short. It's not a long poem. Anyways, again, Woman, Adam Followed. Woman, matriarch of the human species, capable of profound fury, maiden of an iron will, fragile of heart. Woman, I admire thee. Yes. How could Adam give life? We are mistaken. Eve came first, not second. Yes. Adam followed. She tasted freedom. Again, Adam followed. Woman, I praise thee. Yes. Do not perpetuate the myth of frailty and haplessness. You are strong and enduring. You raise us. You suffer for us. You would die for us. Woman, I adore thee.
That is beautiful. That is a beautiful point.
That's my humble honor to women.
This is the point that's the most meaningful to you, that makes
certainly.
So there's one other question I want to ask, and that is, how does the imagery of your poems come up for you? I mean, do you picture them all? I mean, how does that occur for you?
Oh, wow. I'm just such a visual person. I'm also very tactile. I like to touch things. And I love nature. I just love nature. And we are nature. You know, humans are part of nature.
Yes.
We're not separate from it. Right. You know, we're odd. We're the weirdest creature on this planet, but I love the imagery of nature. I portray that in a lot of my writings, you know, the trees, the wind, the flowers, obviously, but also jewelry, so many things. I can't even, I mean, it's unfathomable. There's just so much that inspires me to write. And like I said, I was born with it, and I couldn't wait to start writing. And
wow. And it came true. I can tell. Are there any particular poets or works that have influenced your approach to the romantic poetry?
Oh my gosh.
How have they inspired you?
So many. I have read and read and read, and I love Khalil Gibran. He's wonderful. To me, one of my favorites.
What's the name again?
Shakes. I'm sorry. Khalil Gibran. Khalil Gibran. He was Lebanese born, and he's just fantastic. You have to look him up. People just, so many people, you know, when I mention him, is, oh, I've read his poetry. I love his work. But a lot of people don't really go in depth to the authors themselves. And I like to delve into that. I mean, there's so much. There's so many women writers that hard to get recognition. Right. You know, when you Google and you're looking for poets, the majority that you get are men, and hardly any women. You know, but there's many women, you know, that I admire, that I've read, and I would love to emulate, but you know, I don't like to take from people.
Right, of course. So has your approach to writing about love and romance, has that evolved over time? I mean, has it
of course
expanded as you go through life? You know, obviously
of course, I think some
evolution.
of it is just basically maturity, you know, because when you're young, Exactly. When you're young, you're just happy to be with someone,
Yeah.
right? And someone who gives you attention. But there's more to it. The relationships grow and expand, and sometimes you lose them. And I've unfortunately lost some due to cancer,
Yes.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Immaturity on my part,
Hmm.
not being able to understand a true relationship, how it works, and then just grow from there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we all go through that.
Of course.
In the Beautiful Heart book, what poem do you believe resonates with the readers or most of your readers? Do you have one of those in mind?
It's interesting because again, woman, all the ladies love it. All the women love
Oh,
it. Even young girls, they hear it and they go, "Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, I never thought of myself that way."
yes,
Right?
yes,
So that's inspiring to them. And the men, they don't particularly care for that poem because when I say that women are the true strongest of the species,
yes.
they feel like, "Oh man, you're insulting men." No, I'm not. I'm stating the truth. If it insults you, it's your weakness, your idea of it, right?
Right.
And for men, there's one poem called Coffee and Eggs. And it's
Yeah.
really a scene of a man hiding behind a menu in a restaurant, watching his wife as she's serving customers, primarily men, truckers, and so on.
Uh-huh.
It's a breakfast place, and he describes what he's seeing, how she sways around the tables, and how
Uh-huh.
she pushes flirts away, and she snaps her finger at the men that go and grab her or touch her, right? And she shows
Yes.
them the ring, and so it's a man observing this,
Yes.
and then at the end he says, "This is how I met you when you served me coffee and eggs." And so the men love that particular poem.
That's awesome. Well, Manuel, it's really been a pleasure having you on the show on Viva Magazine Live podcast, and we want to bring you back in the future once we get a one of your productions on. I want to talk
Oh,
about that.
wonderful.
One of your
Yes,
productions coming up.
I do want to go back to theater. I have some ideas, even a musical that I have concerning immigration.
Yes.
And it's a very powerful
Well,
story, and
a very
hopefully,
timely topic as well. Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
hopefully, we'll see how it goes. But I so much appreciate you inviting me on the program.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Now, Manuel, where can they get your book? Can you give us a phone
yes,
number or
well,
something or where they can call you to buy the
yeah,
book?
if people can reach me through my first initial, Nava, my middle name, Nava, Leal, Leal, Nava Leal at yahoo.com, or they can look for my full name on Facebook. They can
Okay.
also go directly to the distribution company, the publishing company called Lulu.com. It's uh, Lulu, uncapitalized,
Okay.
Lulu.com. And you'll see other books that I have in there as well in the collection.
Okay. Very good. Well, I hope that you get a lot of calls on it, Manuel, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you
And I
so
look
much.
forward to all of your productions. You have quite a bit of them here that you can share with us. If we had a lot more time, we would, but
Yes.
maybe on the next show, we will go through every single one of them. All
Wow, I
right.
would be honored. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you,
It's an honor to
Manuel.
be on your program.
All righty. Thank you so much. And everybody, Beautiful Heart, it's behind me. Pick it up. You can read it and make sure you give Manuel Nava Leal a call or send him
Oh,
a,
phone number. Phone number 832-291-6654. And I would appreciate first sending a text because I delete usually when I don't know someone's
yeah,
number.
right.
But if you send me a text, tell me what you're looking for. Tell me that you saw the program, you're looking for the book, and I will certainly answer. I'll call back.
Okay. Repeat that number again.
Certainly. 832-291-6654.
Okay, thank you very much. There you have it, Manuel Nava Leal, a poet, writer, and a playwright. And right here, the station, living here, right in the East End of Houston.
In
You
the
live
East
right here,
End.
and he's one of us. So come on, everybody. Let's support Manuel's new book, Beautiful Heart. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And we'll see you next time on Viva Magazine Live podcast. Thank you.
All right.
Your
Thank you.
host,
Look
Blanca
forward to that.
Blanco, and we'll see you again. See you.
Thank you.